30 days into the Iran war, and everyone is watching the missiles. That's a mistake. Because the real fight is moving to the sea. And if this escalates the way it's heading, this won't stay a regional war. That's a fundamental problem which we've been facing. This will hit the global economy very severely. Right now, what is happening is the US and Israel are saying things are under control. Iran's capabilities are down, thousands of strikes successful, sounds convincing. But then, why is Israel is starting to ration its air defense systems? That's a question we need to be asking. That doesn't happen when you are winning comfortably. Look closer. This isn't about who has better weapons. It's about who can last longer. Iran and its proxies are playing a very simple game: cheap drones, cheap missiles, and constant pressure. So even if most of them get intercepted, Iran, Israel is burning through very expensive, very limited defenses. That is not a tactical fight. That is attrition. Now this is where things shift. The Houthis enter the game of this war. Do you remember the Houthis from Yemen? They are entering into the game, not symbolically, but strategically. They launched a missile into Israel, right? But then it's not the real move. The real move is the message. If the Red Sea is used against Iran, we will shut it down completely. That is the message which they have given by firing a missile into Israel. Now, think about what that actually means. There is a narrow passage, as you might know. It's called Babul Mandeb, about 26 kilometers wide, and roughly 10% of global oil flows through it. At the same time, Iran is already pressuring the Strait of Hormuz, which carries 20% of the world's oil. So it means in total 30%. We are talking about 30% of world's oil. Now we got the point. One choke point in the north, another choke point in the south. So, but they are under threat. That is not escalation. That is design. Because if both these routes get disrupted, you're not just dealing with war headlines anymore. You're dealing with oil shocks, shipping delays, rising costs everywhere, not just for oil, but for everything we consume on a daily basis. So this becomes global, and it's going to become global very fast. And this is the part most people miss. Power isn't what you see, it's what you don't. You see missiles, but the real leverage is control over movement, over energy, over pressure. So, what is Iran doing? It's expanding the battlefield before a direct confrontation even begins. In the south, you will see Houthis from Yemen. North, you will see people from Hezbollah. Now the US and Israel aren't facing one front. They're managing multiple fronts all at the same time. So stretching resources, stretching attention. Meanwhile, more US forces are moving in. And carrier groups like the USS George H.W. Bush are entering the region. That looks like strength, but it also means one thing which you got to understand. This is getting bigger, not smaller. That's a fundamental problem which we are facing. Statements from leaders like Donald Trump saying Iran is destroyed, Iran is decimated, is obliterated. It doesn't mean anything. These statements don't mean anything, don't really match the reality on the ground. Because this conflict, to my understanding, is evolving. Everyone is watching the skies. But the real question is what happens if the sea gets locked down? Because at the end of the day, power isn't what you see, it's what you don't. So, can the US realistically secure both choke points at the same time? Or is the global economy about to feel this next? That is a question which you should be asking now. Why? Because Houthis have entered into the game just by firing a missile into the illegal state of Israel. So let's see what happens next. Thank you.